Donald Trump's now infamous mugshot may just be the worst thing to happen to Joe Biden's 2024 presidential campaign. The Democrats have thrown every grenade they have at Donald Trump in an attempt to ruin him. But their strategy is appearing to backfire, with Trump's supporters more loyal and generous than ever. Sky News All Stars Kosha Gada, James Morrow and Douglas Murray take a deep dive into the events that unfolded after Trump's latest indictment and examine its impact on both sides of the political fence. Donald Trump is an enigma, a rare personality who manages to turn every disaster into an opportunity. And that's exactly what he's done ever since announcing his intention to run for president in the 2024 US election.
I think there's no doubt about that. I think as much as people want to scream and shout about Donald Trump, he has absolutely disrupted the political process over the last 5 years or thereabouts. I always say he's a bit like P.T. Barnum, this guy. People, he's a showman. He loves to sort of show where the problems are, and he's done it again. That interview with Twitter with Tucker Carlson on Twitter has now had something like 260 million views. He didn't do the Republican primary, which had 12 million views on Fox. And this guy's got the gift. I mean, he is the absolute master of the show. Ron DeSantis has learned the hard way how not to tackle the master. I think, look, my personal view is all of this is having a perverse outcome for those that are pushing this agenda. I think this is making him stronger. It's raising money, and ultimately, I think he is going to be the next president of the United States.
And it's not only the Democrats who Donald Trump is fighting. He's also combating opponents within his own Republican Party, which New York Post opinion editor Kelly Jane Torrance says positions Trump as his own event.
Donald Trump, of course, has to go straight to the people. He doesn't want a moderator to tell him what he has to say and give him a time limit for his answers. I think that in some ways it was a smart move. He's the front runner. Would going on the debate with the other people have helped him at all? Increase his front runner status? I doubt it. So, he's kind of going rogue and showing, hey, I'm an event all on my own. Which certainly we've seen since 2015 when he stepped down that staircase at Trump Tower.
Sky News All-Star Kosha Gada sees the drama surrounding Trump's mugshot as a great PR move that will ultimately benefit him.
Well, the defining image of the week has been Donald Trump's mugshot, released after being booked in a Georgia jail. Kosha, we've seen every scandal that has been managed to be put together involving Trump only improve his polling numbers. Is this situation going to be any different?
I do not think so, Amanda. I think, the way to look at this is to just step back and kind of think about the whole landscape. The reason why we're in this situation right now is there's a large swath of the American electorate that for 30 or 40 years has felt increasingly disenfranchised for many, many reasons. Along comes Trump, a complete outsider, and tries to give voice to those folks and wins. He was met with opposition, the likes of which has never before been seen, and they view this as something bigger than just normal presidential politics and the candidate Trump anymore, but it's about fighting back against that opposition when you go from protests to impeachments to now these indictments. And I think each time that you see this, as you point out, you're just going to see supporters of him and opposers of him galvanize more and more. And the real question will just be how far that opposition is going to go. Will they let him run? And if he runs, how much of his supporters are going to turn out? Because the U.S. election is about turnout since we don't have mandatory voting. That's ultimately how this story is going to end. And I think it's just going to get much, much more heated. So buckle up, because this is just the beginning of a very long cycle ahead.
And the hype started immediately, with merchandise and money flowing. Trump supporters opened their wallets to the tune of $7.1 million in the hours following his arrest, says Sky News All-Star Corey Bernardi.
He's been indicted. He's using this to his advantage. We saw his historic mugshot, which I thought was extraordinary. Taken at a courthouse in Georgia last Thursday. He's shared it to his Twitter profile. That's reactivated. Now there's mugshot merchandise, T-shirts, posters. He's raised $7 million or something like this.
Joe Siracusa agrees, saying the Trump mugshot is so valuable, it will be a collector's item one day.
He goes in and he takes his mug shot, which, by the way, Pete, looks a lot like his cameo appearance in Home Alone 2. You'd be surprised how close that is. And so he knows exactly what to do. And then, of course, Americans couldn't wait to buy the T-shirt with his picture. I mean, it's like a baseball card. It's going to be a collector's item one day.
Trump's indictment hasn't quite been the kiss of death for Donald Trump the Democrats were hoping for, according to Sky News All-Star James Morrow.
It seems that despite the big news of the week being Donald Trump's mugshot photo shoot in Georgia, something which Democrats figured would be a slam dunk, I mean, you could hear them all saying, "Hey, we've got him now! Take that, Trump!" Well, it turns out Joe Biden is the one who is attracting the boos of an ungrateful nation.
Mr. Morrow also claims Donald Trump's mugshot will cement him as a martyr for shining a light on the hypocrisy of the Democrats.
It actually instantly became an icon for all of the people who like Donald Trump, and also for the situation that we have where he is now being portrayed quite correctly as a martyr to a corrupt political system that is trying to put him in jail while letting the corrupt ruling family, the Bidens, walk free. And note that in Georgia, they're accusing him of being a criminal. This is what the case is all about, for questioning an election and trying to find votes. But of course, that is exactly what Democrats do every single time a Republican wins the presidency. I mean, remember in 2000 when Al Gore and his lawyers fought all the way to the Supreme Court to try to keep George W. Bush from being president. That, of course, wasn't treated as a crime or an organized political conspiracy. That was, defending democracy, I guess they would have said. So the point of all this, and the mugshot, and the court appearance, well, was to humiliate Trump and demoralize his supporters. But in fact, the early evidence is that it is having just the opposite effect. Trump, as unlikely a martyr as he is now being seen by many as a martyr, and this voter suggested.
You want to know why I'm here to support President Trump? Because they done did black men like this for decades. Make up charges and put them, so I know Trump is innocent. I support Trump against this corrupt, two-tiered justice system. That's why I'm here to show my support as a black man for Trump. It's a bunch of bull. It's going around the country. Fannie Willis, she went to school with my sister. She full of shit. She was full of shit.
Do you think it's going to help his election?
Of course it is. It's going to elevate him all the way. I think we should make Trump king. That's how I feel.
And Sky News All-Star Douglas Murray sounds a warning to the Democrats, saying the tables will turn on them once the Republicans are in power.
The fact that favor has not been returned now, whatever you think Donald Trump has done, shows a new low in American politics. And I really warn the Democrats on this. When the Republicans are back in power, as they will be at some point, they will be using these tools against you. And it's the old thing, the shoe on the other foot rule. The Democrats aren't going to like it when the same rules are applied to them.